Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the A to B podcast, your number one source for military entertainment and entrepreneurship, brought to you by Ramos Capital and Bull Fitness. Guys, this is the first episode of 2025. We are back. We're so pumped. Listen, a lot of things happened at the end of 2024 that, they turned out to be a great blessing. We are fully booked now for the entire month of January, entire month of February, and we're coming back in 2025 with a bang. Like always, guys, I am joined by my co-host, Barry Boo! Yeah. What's up, Barry? How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing so good. It's so good to be back. It feels good to be back. I shared it on my story today. I was so excited. Hit the link. It's in my bio. A to B podcast, YouTube only. Go tag somebody, share some stuff, engage.
Bro, I kind of disappeared at the end of the year. My house flooded. That's why I haven't been posted as much. But my house flooded. Dude, that took me by surprise, dude. That took a blow in my house. But again, it was a blessing in disguise because what I did was I took that opportunity and I actually remodeled my pretty much my entire house, man.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it. They're already here. Might as well do it.
Well, I'm going to ask what everybody's thinking. You're Hispanic, so did you do it all by yourself?
I would say 30 to 40% by myself.
That's a lot, though.
That's why I wasn't posting, right? Because I was like super active with real estate. I still had a lot of people that I need to take care of. I was like, man, something had to give, and in my case was real estate. But you, on the other hand, dog, you've been a news anchor, dog.
I just post. That's all I do. That's my social media advice for everybody out there. Just hit post.
Yeah, man. I didn't have time to even make any type of video.
Well, yeah, because we had the New Orleans guy. Yeah. You had the Cybertruck guy.
Yeah.
You got the fires now.
Yeah.
What else?
Man,
apparently we got the PFC or whatever on. Yeah, we got not in regs.
Yeah, we got a couple of things that are going on. But guys, today we have a very special guest today to start off 2025. You probably seen him on TikTok, Instagram. He is widely viral. At least I would say for like the bigger part of 2024.
And he's going to be an 8412, he said.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Which is a career recruiter.
We're going to talk about...
Where's Dutton Mindset at? Where's he at?
Yeah. Well, he's his predecessor. He was like... we were talking
let me
outside.
ask you. Have you seen Dutton Mindset?
But let me present
Okay, go
him.
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Jesus, he's already getting
I'm so sorry. I'm excited.
Listen... we were talking with our guest, which I will introduce here in a second, and we were talking aside, and he's like, "Dutton Mindset ain't got shit on me." That's what his words, not mine.
I don't want to get in the middle of it.
Dutton,
never said any of that.
Dutton, listen, you're welcome to come on the podcast and defend yourself.
Match.
You're welcome to come on the podcast and defend yourself. But guys, today we got none other than Staff Sergeant the Ocampo. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
You want to clear your name now and say that you never said none of that stuff?
Yeah, I never said that, Gunnery Sergeant.
You don't want to call them guns. Guns?
Gunny?
Have you ever said that, guns?
I'm very formal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, dude, when we were talking for him to come on the podcast, he was still calling me Gunny. So, bro, we're
so
out.
Gunny is okay, but guns.
No, Gunnery Sergeant. GYSGT.
Yeah, so you said Gunnery Sergeant. Gunnery Sergeant.
Yeah. Yes.
So, brother.
You didn't say Al. You didn't say Albert. You didn't say Alberto. You didn't call him the Puerto Rican Poppy.
No.
You didn't. Okay. Roger that.
So, brother, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Awesome, man. So, first of all, thank you for sitting down with us today. I know that you're taking out of your very busy schedule to basically bring some information to a bunch of Marines, man, and also, believe it or not, a huge part of our following is parents. We have a lot of parents that their kids are thinking about enlisting or are in the Marine Corps.
Albert talks to all the moms. I don't. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Barry.
Valerie,
This is not how we want to start 2025.
Lo siento, Valerie.
When Valerie kicks me out of my house, you better have a bunk bed in your fucking house.
I got you, dog.
Okay. So, brother, so thank you for being here with us today, man.
Appreciate the opportunity.
So, brother, I want to start off by asking you, what brought you to the A to B podcast?
So what brought me to the A to B podcast, I mean, I just go down my For You page, go down my Instagram page, and I see your podcast. Just like how Marines, how kids, they see my videos. I've seen a lot of what you guys do, and it brings awareness to parents, military veterans, also kids out there of like what the Marine Corps is, right? And that's the goal of what I do, just to spread awareness about the Marine Corps, because a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people just see like misinterpretations from like Hollywood
Yeah.
films and everything. So just like from a recruiting standpoint, just to bring awareness, honest feedback.
Yeah, and more specifically, what I really like is that you bring awareness about job specific, things. Like you ask questions about, because think about it, man. Like, and again, I can talk to you about this because obviously I was a recruiter. But whenever you enlist in the Marine Corps, you get something that's called a statement of understanding. And that statement of understanding is for a very broad job. Like that statement of understanding actually includes several jobs in one document. And a lot of, specifically as a recruiter, you have an aviation background. You've been in the Marine Corps for about 8 years, correct?
Yes, sir.
You have an aviation ordnance background.
Wait a minute. You mean you're not a grunt?
No, sorry, Major, I'm not.
He called you Sergeant Major. Did that tickle a little bit? Did that tickle your stomach a little bit?
I didn't know where you were going to ask me if it tickled. But I'm just...
Well, that's what I
Okay,
wanted to
so
clarify.
you're not a grunt.
No.
Why? I thought that's what all Marines are.
For me, when I enlisted when I was 17 years old, obviously you need parental consent. And my mom, she's a nurse, Filipino, very traditional. She was very worried about my safety, especially with her being a nurse. So me going into the Marine Corps, I had to come in terms with her and let her know that I was going to do a more safer job. At the end of the day, we do support the Constitution of the United States, but I wanted to give her that peace of mind that I'd be just working in aviation. So,
But at the end of the day, not a grunt.
Not a grunt.
So what does that make you?
A person other than a grunt.
Which
It's a
stands...
pogue.
Wow. And why not a DI? Because you know DIs are better. Is that why?
Don't give in to him. Do not
Dude,
give
don't
in to
start
him.
with me because the recruit, they just walk into the... I just
Listen.
walked in.
Listen.
All these contracts are easy.
For all of 2024, this guy kept saying this in the podcast. And every single time I posted a poll on my Instagram, he lost by big time. Like, it was a landslide. But he keeps going. Like,
Dude,
he's
every
helpful.
time we get a former Marine on here, a Marine veteran, right? Excuse me. They come in and they go, I just walked right into the recruiter's office. I signed up. I just wanted to be a Marine. And that's what you guys get. And that's why it's
You know that's not the case. I'm with you. Listen, I'm with you, okay? But where are you from originally?
I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago in Illinois.
Oh, well, how
Wow.
was that?
I wanted to leave as soon as I turned 18. So
Why? Cold? Not safe?
I just came back from Chicago during holidays recently, and it was snowy, cold. Other than family, going back there, there's nothing really for me over there. So I like doing my own thing. Travel.
Got you.
But so hold on. So you didn't want to go be a recruiter in your hometown.
No, I did not.
But a lot of recruiters do that. Am I wrong on that one?
Yeah.
I know I joke
Specifically
around a
now.
lot, but that's... Yeah, because I just talked to a guy the other day, and he's like, oh my gosh, I was recruiting in my hometown. I wish I wouldn't have done that because it's almost like, life got put on pause. And then, like, you go back, and it's just... It's weird and hard.
I would say like a lot of recruiters do want to go back home because they know the AO, which is the area of operations, but it would give them an advantage.
Yeah.
For me, for myself, I just knew me going home. I feel like my family, that may like play a factor in the way I recruit. And I didn't want the pressure of family. So I kind of wanted to just be on my own path, stay out here in San Diego. I was really grateful with the opportunity and everything. So I'm just out here.
Smart man.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna tell
how
you
long
that.
you been in, though?
I've been in for at least 8 years. Yeah, over 8 years.
Okay, now, looking at your ribbons, everybody's looking at them. You don't have any deployments.
No, I do not.
Do people give you a hard time about that?
Oh, absolutely. It's all in my comment section.
Is it really? What do they say?
Never seen a staff sergeant with only 6 ribbons. Deployment, avoider, misser, whatever it is. Doesn't bother me at all.
How
Yeah.
much of a factor, though, does that play in your recruiting?
doesn't really play a factor at all. I mean, a lot of these kids nowadays, they don't really know what the Marine Corps is. I've never had a kid come into the office and ask like have you like done anything? Have you gone on deployments or anything?
Now, did you have an opportunity though to deploy before recruiting duty?
So I did have an opportunity to deploy. It was in, I think, 2019. I was stationed with Miles 13 in Yuma, Arizona. I was slated to go on a MAGTAF, but I was due for re-enlistment. And when I talked to the career counselor at the time, he let me know that I was a Tier 1 Marine, and the incentive for me to re-enlist was to choose my next duty station. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to be stationed in Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, right? And I let him know that I got slated for this MAGTAF, but he said that if I went on to that MAGTAF, it would void the incentive of me choosing my next duty station. And then I talked to my Master Gunnery Sergeant at the time, and he told me, hey, you're going to get a lot more opportunities in the future to travel and deploy, but because this is your first re-enlistment and you have this incentive bonus, you should take it and just take the orders. And that's exactly what I did.
What do you think, Albert? No deployments. What do you think?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. After hearing that explanation, in reality, man, like that's what the Marine Corps is kind of going towards right now. Whenever it comes in the moments that we are at in our nation, right? I think we're most likely go to Canada than going to any time soon than going back to into the Middle East, you know? So I don't, to me, that doesn't mean anything. That's why I ask you the question of like, you know, how does that affect you into doing the job that you were assigned into doing, which is recruiting right now, right? How does a deployment or an extra ribbon affects your job as an aviation ordnance a specialist? It really doesn't. You know, some people get afforded more opportunities than others to deploy and to do those type of things. I promise you that you will have that opportunity in the Marine Corps if you decide to stay in long enough. So, and I know that doesn't affect you in any way, but for the people that are out there in the comments, you just sound ignorant, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I could care less. Do your job. Take care of Marines. There's going to be people that are going to argue with that and say part of your job, you know, is to deploy. I mean,
which it is. Okay, well, don't get me wrong, it is.
You know, it is worldwide service, but at the same time, you know, you had one opportunity and you made a choice, and I respect that. But at the end of the day, what you bring to the table as far as mission accomplishment, troop welfare, that's what I care about, man. Because I've seen leaders that they weren't leaders. They had 9 deployments and they sucked. Yep. And I knew guys who had 0 deployments and they were rock stars.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't care.
Those are usually the hungrier people, too.
And you know what? And we talk about this a lot. There's a lot of people out there that never got the opportunity to deploy. And because they see all the negative comments, they keep their mouth shut, dude, because they already feel bad enough. Like, man, I'm not a real Marine. It's like, yeah, you are, dude. Yeah, you are.
Believe me, I always tell a lot of like my friends and everything, if I was given the opportunity to deploy to like I mean, it was Iraq, Afghanistan. Let's say like someone just asked me like, are you willing to deploy tomorrow? I would say yes. I'm so close to like finishing recruiting that all I'm thinking about is the next step for me, like going to Korea. But
you're thinking about 8412.
Uh-oh. So. No, we're not there yet, Barry.
Okay.
We're not there yet, Barry.
We're going to back up.
I just wanted to be known that if the opportunity did come up and I had to deploy, I wouldn't just try to shy away with it. I joined the Marine Corps to travel, and I want to travel, but I believe that in every Marine's career, timing is everything, and timing may be right for me, so I'm just following the path that the Marine Corps.
I agree with the Master Guns, man. You'll get plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
For once, once, Master Guns has a good point. You know?
No, yeah, whatever. But but I will tell you this though. I will tell you this, man. I think you got hooked up whenever it comes to that piece of advice. I probably would have done the same thing. You know, I was like, dude, yeah, fuck it. I'll do this and get my re-enlistment incentive than deploy, because you could have deployed in your unit if you could have gone to that unit, you know?
Yeah.
Now
that's true.
Yeah.
So you didn't know that it wouldn't have resulted in non-deployment.
Not going on deployment, yeah. So let's backtrack a little bit, right? What I really want to know was, how was your experience? Because you essentially just re-enlisted, right?
Yes.
So you have done
the
2
first
full
time?
enlistments. No,
No, just second.
this is second. So you've successfully completed 2 enlistments. You're going on your 3rd enlistment. Okay. So with that being said, your first enlistment, how did it go? Because obviously you're aviation ordnance, right? That's that's a high end job if you ask me, dude. Like you're essentially putting bombs on freaking airplanes. Am I correct?
Yes. So in aviation ordnance, I mean, there's O level, which is more the hands-on, like lifting, loading the bombs. They work on the flight line, and then
They have no idea what they're doing.
Barry, the comments are gonna destroy
They
you.
don't. I'm being
You
honest.
started 20.
He's laughing because he's an eye-level guy and he knows.
Listen,
Am I right?
I'm not
I am
saying
eye
that.
level. I'm eye level.
And so you know what you're doing. You build the bombs.
yes,
You
that's the
fix
part.
the guns. He fixes the guns. You guys just put them on the aircraft. You don't
Listen,
know.
look at me, guys.
You don't
Look at me,
know.
guys.
You're O-level, dude. Take a seat.
Look at me, guys.
Sit down.
Here's the thing. Right now, I want everyone in the comments to destroy Barry for continuing to interrupt our guest in 2025. Like, I thought we left this in 2024.
No, we didn't.
But apparently not. Like, before our meeting, we were like, Barry, you need to let our guests finish their sentences and finish what they want to say. Barry said, like, aye, Albert. He took that and went one ear out the other.
This is too hard.
So, please, brother, can you please finish your sentence of what is it that you do as an aviation ordnance?
So just like Sergeant Major was saying, so O level, they're more hands-on. They work with the aircraft, lift the bombs onto the aircraft, load them, missiles, rockets. Intermediate level is more meticulous. So now we're fixing the support equipment. We're fixing trailers. We're loading and delivering the bombs, missiles, and rockets to the flight line for the O level side of ordnance. We fix the weapon systems, so it's a little bit more technical. So
is that school longer?
We both O level and I level. We both go to the same school regardless. So it's in Pensacola, Florida, A school, and then our follow-on school is in Cherry Point, North Carolina. After the Pensacola though, I think that does break off into depending on what platform you go to, like F-18s, F-35s, skids. Like,
how high did you have to score on the ASVAB to qualify for your job?
So that's a good question. So for the ASVAB, I didn't know at the time. I scored really well. I got a 90 on the ASVAB.
You look smart.
But my recruiter at the time asked me like what I like doing. I said I like working hands-on. I fix computers. I built my gaming computer. And then he asked me, well, how about like instead of doing that, you put together bombs, missiles, rockets, and that sounded cool. I was like,
you'll fit
hell
right
yeah.
in.
I was like, hell yeah, that sounds awesome. So that's what I ended up doing. And then I got to the job, went to the fleet, and then I just realized everyone just has this idea that, ordnance is all like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you just don't want to say it.
Yeah.
There's a difference between not knowing and not want to say it. So just say it.
That they all have low ASVAB scores, but I mean, I guess I'm one of them.
Really? That's a thing. I've never heard that.
So, what's do you know what the cutoff is offhand?
It's not by ASVAB score. It's by the line score.
There's line scores and everything.
Okay, as a recruiter, without interrupting, so that way we can clip this for the people. Okay.
Go.
So, what can you explain the difference in between the AFQT and the line scores?
Okay, yeah. So the AFQT, I mean, that's basically the main ASVAB score. But when you go to MEPS and you take the ASVAB, for the Marines at least, yes, your ASVAB score matters, the AFQT, but what really matters is the 4 individual line scores. So you got the GT score, you got the clerical score. It's four lines that are broken down. And then what we do is we pull up our job SOUs, and in the description it shows like this applicant requires a 105 electrical score or a 105 GT score. And we'll look at your line scores. If you don't meet that, on to the next one. And we'll just start highlighting jobs. This is what I do. So once I have an applicant that qualifies and passes the ASVAB, I'll get all their line scores, and then I'll go down the job SOUs and I'll just highlight what they qualify for. Now I'll give that list to the applicant, and you have to keep in mind that just because you do qualify for that job, there are job allocations, right? So let's say a senior in the beginning of the school year decides to enlist, all right? And that's when the jobs are going to open up because of the new fiscal year. Now, if you have another senior that's maybe in May or June that decides to enlist and they still get a good ASVAB score, depending on that time, there may not be enough job allocations left because jobs first come, first serve.
Yeah. That is your...
So timing's everything.
Yeah, so you're 100% spot on. However, I'm going to let I'm going to peel behind the curtain a little bit. Okay. And this is where the operations chief and the staff NCOIC of the station start making crack deals. Okay, because let's say, for example, if you have a station that is either not meeting mission, or let's say, the Alpha Bravo split, which is something that we can touch on as well, it's a little bit, iffy. And the only way that this applicant is going to enlist is if he only gets this specific job, then the job allocations get sent to the RS. To the RS. And then based on that allocation, then they kind of distribute it to the RSSs. Okay. But the thing is that if you are within the RS or even different RSs, you can do crack deals. That's why the operations chief is so important, because he sees everything in the district. So he can see, oh man, RS San Diego has or RS Riverside. RS Riverside is the thing, right?
The RS Riverside.
Yeah, so RS Riverside has this job that my applicant in San Diego wants. So how about we do a swap? And those things are possible, okay?
So there's a lot of behind the scenes.
There's a lot of behind the scenes, but it also depends on how good your operations chief are and how good of your staff NCOIC is. But as a recruiter, on the recruiter man level, he is 100% spot on because he doesn't see this.
I don't remember all of mine, but I was eye-level aircraft maintenance on engines, and my ASVAB was like 92 and my GT was like...
Are you serious? You scored 92?
Yeah, my GT was like 114.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, baby, I'm impressed. You scored a 94? Did you study for the ASVAB?
Nope.
Really?
And I was probably under the influence.
How much you think you can score? How much do you think you can score? Yeah, study high, get high results, right? That's right.
That's right.
Okay, no, but what, like, if you were to take the ASVAB today, what do you think you can score?
Oh man, I don't even know if I'd pass it, man.
Yeah, hey,
I did that like...
I don't even know if I would pass it.
You took the PICAT?
I took the shortened version, the APT. It's what we usually do our applicants when they come into the office. It's
just to kind of like feel them out?
It's a shortened version, like 20, 25 minutes.
Gotcha.
I did it without a scratch piece of paper, and I got like a 71. Like, just with like process of elimination, crossing out, and everything.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I applied myself. Even though I was doing knucklehead stuff, I applied myself because of all the trouble I had got in middle school. I didn't graduate 8th grade. I was really getting in a lot of trouble. That's when I first got on probation and everything else like that. And so just that whole experience made me go, okay, I can do whatever I'm going to do outside of school over here, but I need to apply myself in school as well. So I actually took the stuff seriously. And I went in there and really applied myself and every single class.
Wow, that's really good. Okay, so the other thing that I want to cover, right, is because a lot of applicants, they think that they score good on the ASVAB. Mm-hmm. And just because of that they can pick whatever job they want. Because I've had applicants that score 74 on the ASVAB. Oh, I want to be an officer. I was like, well, yeah, your GT is fucking 90, so you really can't, be an officer, because a lot of people don't understand that there's other requirements with the line scores.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
In order for you to become an officer, or even not even become an officer, be screened to become an officer. So can you explain the difference in between what a 31 to 49 on the ASVAB is and what a 50 to a 99 is, and why is it that people cannot score more than 100 on the ASVAB?
So the ASVAB, the max score is 99. Now the minimum score to qualify for the Marines is 31. But just because you meet that 31 mark does not mean you're going to qualify for jobs, because at the end of the day, it all comes to line scores. So 31 to 49, that's about average. Anything 50 and above is above average. Obviously, if you score 50 and above, you're qualifying for more jobs. So currently, like right now, I'm working with applicants that score 33, 35, 34, and they qualify, right, to be able to start the process. But I don't want to send them the MEPS yet because of job allocations, right? And people, those jobs, it's already late in the school year, so those allocations are already being filled. And what's left is really like kind of more complex jobs, right? So I want to make sure that they score a high enough ASVAB score so they qualify for more jobs, right?
Okay, hold
if
on. I'm sorry, go ahead.
if they score low, then they're just gonna limit themselves. They may not have that much to choose from.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Okay, so my question is, number one, where does the Marine Corps stack up with other branches as far as the minimum requirement for the ASVAB score?
So that's a good question. So for the Marines, I know that our ASVAB requirements, it has stayed the same. And if anything, it's just getting more strict. Now I know like the Navy, Army, Air Force, they have their own things going on, but just strictly for the Marine Corps, right now we don't do ASVAB waivers, line score waivers. We don't do any of that. You have to meet the requirement to be a Marine. Like we're not gonna like try to change anything.
Okay, but the minimum requirement is a 30.
It's a 31.
Okay,
And what are the other branches? You don't know?
I don't know on the top
Now,
of my
is there a
head.
chance that you could score a 31 and not be able to become a Marine because there's not jobs available?
That is very, very true. It depends on the area, like the place that they're recruiting, right? Because if they meet the 31, but their line scores are not good enough, the job calls for these line scores.
Yeah.
We can't physically give them that job. That's
Right.
why there's a minimum, but we study with our applicants, we tutor them, we help them to score a lot much more higher, so we have more leeway to help them out.
Now, if a guy is coming or somebody's coming from another branch, do they have to retake the ASVAB with the Marines?
So that's a good question as well. So if an applicant has taken the ASVAB, it has to be within 2 years. At least for my recruiting station, it's 2 years. I don't know about other recruiting stations,
it's 2
but
years.
So you got to
It's 2
you're going
years.
to have to retake it more than likely.
Yes.
And then of course if you come from, the other branches which are basically, garbage compared to the Marines, right? They're trash. I mean, they are. They're like mayonnaise that's been sitting out in the sun for 5 hours. I'm kidding you guys, damn it. They're going to have to go to boot camp too, right?
That's another thing too. Whenever I tell these applicants, I have them come in, I let them know, like, why'd you come into the Marines? You have the Army, you have the Air Force, you have the Navy. The benefits, they're the same no matter what branch you go to, but what do you think the Marines is going to do for you? And usually the applicant will be like, I'm just trying to see what you guys have to offer. And I let them know, like, the benefits are the same, but what matters is the intangibles. So discipline, camaraderie. If you're trying to be the best version of yourself, maybe there's a place for you in the Marines, because at least the Marine Corps will give you a challenge. Me
That's how
personally,
you know. That's how you know you're good when you could. That's how you know you're a good recruiter whenever you can sell the intangibles. For other recruiters out there, or everybody, or anybody that's trying to go to recruiting school or whatever, that this is not something that you, because obviously he's an experienced recruiter already. He's been on the streets for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
When you get, that you're a really good recruiter whenever you start selling the intangibles better than the tangibles. Tangibles is things that you can physically touch, meaning, your tuition assistance, things of that nature, like the money, bonuses, things of that nature. The intangibles is like you mentioned, the discipline, right? Self-confidence, things of that nature that people cannot touch, right? How can you touch self-confidence?
Dude, I just talked to a guy the other day. He said, I joined the Marines because the recruiters were at my high school. I saw the Army one in the fatigues, looking a little bit off over there, just a little bit, bag of lunch. Then I see the Marine, squared away uniform, standing upright, military, the way he walked, the way he talked. And I said, that's the Marine Corps, man. We're the last frontier in this country, signed, sealed, and delivered. You heard it here first.
Now, let me ask you this, man. Do you like your job, your aviation ordnance job?
I do.
You enjoy it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Like, honestly, look at me. Wink twice if you're lying. But,
Wow.
But I have a great.
Well, they
pride for
haze
my
the
job.
hell out of each other.
Barry, we're not talking about that.
Okay, we're not going to talk hazing.
We're not going to talk hazing.
That's one of my
here.
favorite topics.
I know it is, but we're here with our Marine Corps recruiter, so we want to make sure that we get like you can blink though, okay? So
stupid, my eyes ain't that dry.
Hey, listen, and I feel some type of way because every time that you ask him a question, he goes like, "That's a good question," and every time I ask him a question, he's like, "Yeah, whatever, Doug."
Well, because you are already a recruiter, right? See, for me. Y'all know a lot of stuff that because
true.
you guys have both done it.
True.
There's a lot of stuff I don't even know, man. You guys know flash to bang when somebody walks into the office, right? I hear guys talk about it all the time, and I never thought about it literally until social media. Like, why are you sitting there talking to this kid for 2 hours? You don't even know if he's qualified.
Yeah, I got so good that I can just look at a kid and kind of guess his score on the.
Yeah, but you're in Puerto Rico, which everybody
too?
says it was easy there.
Did that happen to you too? Like you just look at a kid and you can be like, "Yeah, you're a freaking hard Zulu right there."
I give everyone the same opportunity.
No, I screen him too.
You really cornered him right there, Albert.
No,
you dirty rat. You really said I give everybody same.
Yeah. Listen,
which is a lie.
So you like your aviation or this job? You're going back to your job. So what made you, right? Because we were talking about your first enlistment, right? Mm-hmm. MOS school. You went to A school. Then after that, you went to Cherry Point, and after that, obviously, you went to the fleet. How was your experience during your first enlistment and during this first?
So my experience during my first enlistment, I would say. This actually like brings a very good topic. So I got stationed.
Thank you.
I got stationed in Yuma, Arizona. Beautiful.
Okay.
No.
No,
it's very, very hot. But the place of where you're stationed, I feel like that holds a lot of weight on how your first enlistment goes. And I feel like as retention, a lot of Marines judge their whole Marine Corps career over the first enlistment. But they don't give the opportunity to like get stationed somewhere else because just because you're stationed somewhere doesn't mean that's how the Marine Corps is going to be everywhere else.
Yeah.
But I would say like the location, didn't really like the heat, but it's the people, like the Marines that I work with, the Marines that I mentored, the leaders that I had, they really did look out for me.
Good.
Right. And
so you had good leadership on your first enlistment.
I did have.
Even though the place sucked,
yes.
You had good leadership.
Yes. The food was also really good in Yuma. But the location where I want to be stationed in San Diego.
Yeah.
I feel like it's ultimately
that's Filipino heaven. I said it.
Yeah. I feel like the Marines, the people you work with is what ultimately like makes or breaks your career.
I'll tell you, and with Aviation Ordnance, they're squared away, dude. They're super locked on. They are high strung, but
what do you mean by high strung though?
Well, I said hazing. You didn't like that word.
Okay.
They run a tight ship, man.
Okay.
There's a lot that goes on inside.
It's a big responsibility, though.
Dude, yeah, like you said, bombs, missiles, rockets. They're really in there. Yeah. And some of the best Marines I've ever met were aviation ordnancemen, and they were I level. They were not O level.
So I'm guessing because of the school is long, right? Those schools are long.
Pensacola was about a little under 2 months, and then Cherry Point, North Carolina was, depending on how long you're in holding, about 2 months as well.
Okay, so 4 months. Do you have a 4-year contract or a 5-year contract?
I had a 4-year contract.
Okay, so essentially, and let me see. I think I understood this from what you were saying. See, I'm verifying what I'm. Okay, I'm confirming understanding. MC3. Okay, wow. So if I understand you correctly,
doctrinal.
Yeah, if I understand you correctly, basically what you said is you had good leadership, and that good leadership said like was the one that actually made you stay in the Marine Corps.
Yes.
Okay. What was your second duty station?
Second duty station was Miles 11 in Miramar.
That's when it happened that your master guns told you instead of going on this deployment with us.
It was in Yuma. Yuma is one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it was in Yuma instead of going on deployment with us because then you're not gonna have duty station preference. Go to Miles 11 and then do that. Okay. Yep. How long were you on Miles 11 before you put in our recruiting package? Did you volunteer?
I did not volunteer. Marine Corps selected me.
Wow. Okay. So you got hand selected. That's what we like to say in the Marine Corps. Hand selected. You got hand selected. Okay. So you got HESTed, essentially.
Yes.
Okay, how was that first reaction when you got HESTed?
So, I actually, when I checked into when I checked into Miramar, I knew that I wanted to volunteer to be a drill instructor. And when I was in my alphas, I was checking around HQ. I passed by the career counselor, the career planner,
the career jammer,
and I looked in and we made eye contact. And I went in and I was like, "Raw Staff Sergeant, I was just wondering, how do I go about volunteering for an SDA?" And then he looks at me. He's like, "How long have you been here for?" And I was like, "Today's my first day, Staff Sergeant." And he's like, "You need minimum 1 year time on station before you can volunteer for SDA."
That's what I was gonna ask. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then about my 10-month mark came around on time on station.
Smart.
And then I got histed. No, I got histed.
See, but that's what I was gonna ask, because that kind of pisses me off, because you took the duty station preference, didn't take the deployment, and ended up getting histed in month 10.
Dude, you know what? I had a listen to this, because I had a very similar story to what you're saying on one of the Marines that I sold a home to in Fallbrook. So what happened to him was a little bit different though. He wanted one of these high speed, low drag jobs. And so he wanted to lab move out of the infantry to one of these high speed, low drag jobs, right? And then he already had his package, all the package for his lab move and everything. And then as the package is being routed up, he gets histed. And the hist takes precedence over the lab move. So he called me up, Victor, love you, brother. You're doing great over there in San Francisco. So he calls me up and I'm like, "Man, like, what do I do, man? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna accept, but you know, if I don't accept this orders, I'm gonna get an RE3 Oscar code." So I was like, "Brother, man, like, try to explain it to people." Nobody really fucking cared. And I told him like, "Hey, man, like, recruiting." What I told him was like, "Man, trust me, recruiting. Don't listen to what people say about recruiting. Recruiting is a great experience. As a matter of fact, we can talk about this offline as well." Because, brother, like, the reason why I'm so successful outside of the Marine Corps, 100% attributed to the Marine Corps in general, but more specifically the traits that I learned as a recruiter. Okay? As you see, like, the traits that are confirming understanding, testing for yes, listening to understand, all of those things, like, are things that I learned as a recruiter. You know? So I told him, like, "Brother, trust me, you're going to be better off. It's going to suck. But once you're done, I promise you that you're gonna.
Here's the thing, and I tell Marines this all the time. You know, the career planners can tell you when the HIST comes out. They'll tell you. It comes out on a schedule. You know, I forget how many times a year it is now, but it's at least a couple of times a year. You ask your career planners out there, they'll tell you when it's gonna come out. So if you're trying to route something like that, you guys need to pay attention to that stuff and get ahead of the freaking A-ball, man, because he was
screwed though.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. I don't like what happened to you, and it is in your orders a lot of times. It'll tell you have to have this much time, but with those SDAs and getting histed, a lot of times they do what they want.
And by the way, he got histed as a corporal for recruiting. The guy that I was talking to you about.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even wasn't even histed, but he was infantry. That's why. Because they have too many people in the infantry right now. Like, we ain't fighting no wars. Like, what the fuck are they doing with all those infantry guys? So they were histing corporals to go on recruiting duty. He was a senior corporal, obviously. But they were histing corporals out there. So in your second duty station, you were a sergeant, right? Did you pick up staff sergeant in recruiting?
I picked up staff sergeant in recruiting, yes.
Okay. So you got histed month 10. But I'm guessing that your schoolhouse was for like a year out.
It was like a year and a half out.
Okay.
It was a while.
So it was a year and a half out. How do you mentally prepare during that time? And what advice would you give to Marines that get histed to mentally prepare for an SDA if they get histed?
So depends on what the SDA is for. I'll speak on recruiting. Tips for recruiters to get ready for like a recruiting SDA is these kids are like these high school seniors, high school juniors, college students. They're all on social media. So Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok right now. I mean, may get shut down. We'll see about that. But they're all on their phones. A huge reason why I started doing social media, putting exposure to the Marines, is because a lot of these people just don't know about the Marines. Now, when you start taking photos, pictures, memories, while that you're still in the fleet, you can go back and show a lot of these applicants what it's actually like
Very
in the
good
Marine
point.
Corps, you know, because they can go on Google, they could see what the Marines is about, but they want to be able to be inspired by you. You're the individual. They want to be inspired by you. The Marines is its own thing, but they're looking up to you because you're that recruiter.
So
you have to be able to
before you
inspire
get
them.
the orders to recruiting duty and you're in the fleet, take the pictures,
photos.
Dude.
take the videos of the hikes, the runs, the ranges.
The cool stuff that, like,
Even
the
when you
helicopters.
go out, you go to Okinawa, when you go out with friends and everything, like show that you're also a personal person, that you like, you're going to bars,
Yeah.
you're having a good time. Malaysia, Thailand, Dubai, you're doing all these cool things. Not all just Marine Corps stuff, but show that you're also like have a life. You know
Yeah,
what
like
I
my
mean?
bunny,
like that.
like Bad Bunny said, I should have taken more pictures, dog.
We don't like Bad Bunny.
Yeah, well, I do. It should have taken more pictures. And you're right. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that. That's a very good piece of advice. I think you're the first one to share that piece of
Very.
advice here, because yeah, dude, like recruiting. It's all about painting a picture
Exactly.
to the applicant about how his life could be, and what better way to do it by demonstrating by your own pictures and your own actions.
Yeah.
So I think that's very good. A piece of advice. If you're preparing, take more pictures. Now, whenever you you know, what are some memorable things of your time before you were a recruiter?
Memorable times. I mean, right off the bat, I could think about when I was on Miramar. I had already been HISted for recruiting, but I still got to travel. I went on a detachment to Hawaii. I was out there for a little over a week to maybe a little over 2 weeks, but that was my first time like traveling to Hawaii. Never been there. A lot of times you open up Instagram, TikTok, you see all these cool places in the world,
Yeah.
but you never think like, am I ever going to be able to view that place? One of those places for me was Hawaii. So the Marine Corps giving me the opportunity to travel there was amazing. I stayed at a really nice hotel in Waikiki, which is like the main tourist spot of the island. Hotel was paid for. We got a food allowance, and we'd work from like 8 a.m. and get off by 2 p.m. And then the rest of the time, it was us to explore the island.
Nice.
Right? So hiking, eating lots of food, snorkeling, going to the beach. That's like the best part.
How long were you there for?
I was there for a little under 2 weeks, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 weeks, essentially completely paid
Yes.
by the Marine Corps in order for you to go over there to Hawaii, do a little bit of work, and do a whole lot of fun.
Yes. Not only that, but when I got back to San Diego, I got a lump sum for because the money that I didn't spend for like food and everything with DTS.
Yeah.
If you're a Marine, don't ever use your DTS card. Just use your personal card, and then it'll save a lot of headaches.
What is DTS? Let's go with that. What is DTS? Look at Barry. Look at Barry. Look at
I
Barry.
mean, he just gave a gem right there, because that's
Yeah.
what I used to say. Y'all are saying defense travel system.
Defense travel system.
We
It's
need that
ma-
card, but
It's always
last
managed-
resort.
Yeah.
Well, it's always managed by somebody in the S1. In my opinion, is it shouldn't be, because O1s are not travel people. Who's
Yeah,
travel
yeah.
people?
Yeah.
S4.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you.
S4 should be running DTS.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I just called it. Sergeant Major Ruiz, Carlos, I love you, Carlito. But listen, S4, DTS.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why DTS sucks.
No.
And it's because Marines don't know how to handle their finances.
Well, yeah.
And then you give a Marine that doesn't know how to handle their finances a credit card, and then now they're going to mess it up.
Well, I used to say, hey, look, man, you guys are just populating this roster, giving it to Master Guns. Why are you putting Marines on here that can't pay for this stuff?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I had a coworker. I'm not gonna say where or where.
Wow.
I'm not gonna say where. I had a
It was
coworker
Jose.
that he knew that he could take a cash allowance out of his DTS card whenever he went to travel.
Oh, no.
So the first thing that he would do as soon as we landed, he would go to the ATM and take, I think it was like $250 or $500. He was like, "Let's go drinking, boys." Like this was like his thing. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if you should be doing that, dog. But anyways,
definitely should not.
You know who you are. I don't
That's
know if you
the
like.
NCO.
Well, I
Staff
used to
NCOs.
see all the reports.
No, it was the stats aren't.
I used to see all the reports, and it was always the senior guys, and I'm like, where did you think you could use this travel card to go to strip clubs, spend it on, PORN in the hotel room? Because it shows up, dude.
Yeah,
it shows up on the reports.
Now, guys, we've been talking for about 45 minutes, and I wanted to cut it off here because obviously there's life before recruiting. And there's life after recruiting. You're obviously currently in recruiting duty. So I want to talk to you, and I want to make sure that we get some time to actually talk about, life as a recruiter, and also talk about your plans. Because if I'm understanding you correctly, you're going to Korea now, right?
I have orders to go to Korea.
You have orders to Korea. We want to know, why is it that you have such a big social media following? That's something that I want to talk to you about that. And why the hell is it that there's no more people offering you, pleading you to stay on freaking recruiting? Because right now you're one of the faces of the Marine Corps for recruiting. You might not look at it that way, brother, but me looking
the
at
only recruiters I can think of is him and Dutton.
Me looking at out from the outside in, brother, you're definitely top 3. Okay, so we definitely want to talk more about that. Guys, make sure that you follow, subscribe, and comment, because we have another amazing episode coming up with Staff Sergeant D. Ocampo. So please hit that follow button, share this video, leave a comment. What do you think? What questions would you like to have for the recruiters so that we can answer them in the comment section? Like always, go to the link in my bio. This episode was brought to you by Ramos Capital and
Noble Fitness.
Let's go. Barry, where can people reach out to you at?
Hey, I just want to say thank you guys for making it this far in the video. We do this for you. We do it for free. That's why we say, hey, we sponsor ourselves. Noble Fitness, Ramos Capital. Thank you for being here. I look forward to the second episode. I am going to ask him some tough questions. I'm going to ask him about the ribbons. You guys want to hear what's the story on the ribbons? What does it mean, right? Especially for people out there that have no idea. But thank you for making it this far into the episode. It really means the world to me. Like I said, this is something that's Albert and I want to give back to you guys in the entire community, whether you're in the military, you're a veteran, or you're a family member. It matters. Okay, if you go to my Instagram at bull5277, my TikTok is at bull52772. I don't think TikTok's going away, guys. The link to the A2B podcast, which is only on YouTube, you guys, is in my bio. You can click a link in my bio, schedule a call with me, and I always tell you the call is free, but the change will last you a lifetime. I love you. Let's get it.
Ian, where can people reach out to you at?
My handling is at iandocampo.sd for Instagram and TikTok.
Okay, awesome, guys. We'll see you guys in the next episode.